First and 10's Game of the Week is sponsored by Green and Phillips.
Spanish Fort versus Saraland. That's got a great ring to it, doesn't it? Two great programs playing for region supremacy tonight. Spanish Fort has reeled off 8 straight wins following a season loss to McGill-Tulane. No shame in that. Saraland, the Spartans haven't lost a game. A perfect 9-0. The Spartans playing for their first undefeated regular season ever. Their first region championship ever. We're talking history in the making, and there's only one person we trust with covering a potential history-making event. Roll it. Hustle and Hal, all smiles tonight, Hal. A great match partner, a great matchup, or should I say, what in the world? Did it live up to all the hype?
Bree, it was fantastic. I've got to tell you, they expected around 5,000 people, and I think they hit that mark, maybe even went past it. It was standing room only here, and why not? When these two teams square off, you always get a great show. As you mentioned, Saraland going for their first region championship. Spanish Fort's been here before. They had to bring it on the road tonight and see if they could get there again. Saraland was bringing it to them early. Check it out. The Saraland High School Mixed Choir did an awesome job with the national anthem to get things started tonight. A standing room only crowd packed into Spartan Stadium for this region title game. Saraland gets the ball first, and who else but Rashawn McAlpine lights up the home crowd. He takes the handoff and has a huge gain on the play. This one goes for 38 yards before he's brought down. Then quarterback Brett Nizak goes to the air, finding wide receiver Daniel Taylor. The catch is good for 22 yards, and the Spartans are on the move. Spreading the wealth, Kerry White caps off the opening drive. He takes the Nizak handoff and finds a hole. It's an 8-yard TD strike, putting Saraland on the board with the early lead. On the ensuing kickoff, Spanish Fort looking for a big return, but instead it's a fumble, and Saraland's Trenton Williams falls on it deep in Toros territory, and Spanish Fort couldn't be off to a worse start. But the Toros would hold Saraland to a long field goal, which missed, and would go to work. Connor Hagan, back from a preseason injury, getting the majority of carries, caps off a long drive with this 11-yard run for the score, tying this one up late in the first. The Spartans keep the pressure on, and Nizak finds sophomore wide receiver Jerome York. It's good for 34 yards, putting Saraland back in business. Spanish Fort holds Saraland to another field goal try. Cole Robich puts his foot into it, and this one is good, and that would give the Spartans a 10-7 lead over Spanish Fort at the half. Yeah, but it was Spanish Fort in the second half. They got it together at halftime, came out, put up some points in the final in this one, 28-16. Chris Abrams capping off that last drive in the fourth quarter, just a couple minutes left. Coach Ben Blackmon joining me now with another region championship for the Toros. Coach, big win tonight.
Yeah.
Obviously, before we go much further, want to keep DeMarcus Thomas from Saraland in our thoughts and prayers. He went down with an injury and had to be taken off the field. I know that's kind of heavy on your heart.
It is. You know, this is a game, and these are children's lives, and that's the most important thing right now in my mind is that child. And we're just praying for him and lifting him up in our prayers.
Absolutely. Of course, congratulations on a region championship. What did you tell the kids at halftime to get them back out here and play the way they did and dominate that second half?
Well, we just went in and said, hey, we just got to continue to do what we're going to do and run the football and get some breaks, and our breaks came in the second half with the punt. Turned the field position over to the one. We were able to stop them, get the field position back and score, and then the turnover, get us up 2 scores, and then we were able to run some ball and run the clock.
You've got to be happy with the way some of these younger players have stepped up. Obviously, had a great return tonight. Number 17 came back on the field for you tonight, did great all night.
Man, I'm just so happy for that young man. He has fought through adversity, tearing his knee up and then fighting through it and coming back, and he's a leader. He's a heart and soul of our team, and one of our captains, and just glad he's back.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations again. Doesn't get any easier from here, absolutely, but a great show here tonight at Spartan Stadium. Spanish Fort comes out on top, region champs, 6A, Region 1. How about that, Bree?